Say hello to the March Westknits socks called the Stony Stream socks. The Stony Stream socks use two yarns. You're gonna need a solid main color to frame the self-striping contrast color. You could also use variegated yarns or all those super party speckles for that contrast color, because you just need a little bit, and you're gonna do some slip stitches and fun cables throughout the socks. So these socks are knit top down, and they're inspired by the Stony Stream shawl, which is a triangular shawl knit sideways, and it uses that same stitch pattern. I really love the stitch because not only is it textured, but the stitches are also moving and traveling a little bit with the cable technique. So when you start that slip stitch, you're going to use the main color for the cuff and the heel and the toe. So think about, what color do you want to see the most of, or what do you want the overall feeling of the socks to be? Do you want them really light for the main color, or really dark, or even a color pop could be really cool for that main color that you're gonna see the most of? And the self-striping contrast color, I used Zauberball. This is the Crazy Zauberball, and it comes in these really fun marled color-changing self-striping balls. 100 grams of each color is gonna be more than enough to knit any of the sizes. So this is, I believe, size 3 in the pattern, and you can knit the length as long as you want. So if you like really long socks, you could do more pattern repeats. It's a really short pattern repeat. Or if you want really short ankle socks, I think that could be really cute with just a little bit of ribbing for some fun spring Stony Stream socks. So the foot is also customizable, so you can knit that any length you want. So once you've got your two colors picked out, you're going to be doing slip stitches, which is really, really easy, and then a little cable traveling stitch for that self-striping little meandering pattern. It really reminded me of like a river or a stream when it's like flowing along the rocks, and you get that really cool undulating organic texture. So I just love that really simple textured effect, and the colors really bring it to life with that meandering flow of color and texture. For these blue socks, I went with the same color family, so you could get a light blue and then a dark blue self-striping or a variegated color. This is called Slight Blue from Punk Rock Unicorn. It's one of my favorite sock yarns because it's really velvety soft, and it has 15% nylon in it with 85% superwash merino. So it's really hard wearing and very durable. So this is called the Browse colorway, this purple, and I think that could look amazing with something really juicy. This is called Indish Rosa, this pink, purple, red mixture. I think that would be really, really fun. So when you're mixing your colors together, you could stick in like a color family, like, let's go something really dark and gray. So you could stick in the really neutral areas, but make sure that your main color contrasts with that contrasting color. Sometimes that gray is in a little bit of that Zauberball, but not too much. Most of the other colors are beige or tan or red, so you know that most of the time there's always going to be a nice shadowy contrast. This is Mominoki yarn in the Mystic Forest colorway, and this is called Late Autumn Inspiration from Shopovola. Zauberball Crazy. I just love that really deep, shadowy, neutral mix. If you want to play with some more contrast, I think you're really gonna see the texture when you have something really, really light against something really, really dark, which is what I did with these socks. A light main color with a really dark contrast color, or vice versa. So something like this would be really high contrast and show off all the little stitch details. This is Punk Rock Unicorn in the Poison colorway on their sole base. And the Shopovola colorway is called Meilenstein. I think I'm saying that right. A lot of their colors are in German. Meilenstein. And it has these like grungy green mossy colors. And I love how the acid green just glows off of that. I think that would be a super, really fun, grungy, high contrast color mix. Something a little more in the medium tone. This is a great way to pick your main color, is take that Zauberball as your inspiration. This is the Schokoladenseite Schokoladenseite colorway. It has red and orange and gray, really neutral with those warm tones. You could take one of the colors that you see from the Zauberball and exaggerate it. So get a really saturated version of it. This is Punk Rock Unicorn in the Fuchs colorway. It's a really nice rusty orange. And even though that colorway is in the Zauberball a little bit, as long as it's just in the Zauberball a little bit, it's okay. Some of those moments might blend a little bit in the sock, but then it will flow into the contrast and you'll get this beautiful effect of the colors kind of receding and then a crescendo of color into more contrast. So just make sure that the color from your main color isn't the overall color in your contrast color, because then it might get a little too blendy. Let's look at a few more color combos. It's just so addicting to play with this Shopovola Zauberball Crazy because there's just so much inspiration to be had in every ball. You could go with a navy blue, or you could go with those terracotta tones. I think this would be really beautiful. This would be a nice high contrast with the light main color. This is Mominoki Sock Fine 4-ply in the Chai colorway, and this is called Camouflage from the Zauberball. I think that's really nice and fresh, or you could go really dark. Oh, this would get a little blendy with some of those blue moments, but as long as your main color is really, really solid and your contrast color is that splashy, variegated, or self-striping yarn, then you're gonna get a good mix of characters in your colors. A solid frame with the painterly, splashy contrast color. This chai color I had before, I really like it with this light. I think this would be really beautiful and subtle. This is called Funlage. Funlage. It's like a baby sky blue. There's purples, a little light yellow. So if you exaggerate that lightness with the really light, this is like a powdery pink chai colorway. I think that would be super sweet. And this would be a really good high contrast. Whenever you're doubting your color choices, like is it gonna blend too much? Always lean into an exaggerated choice. So if you're like, is this gonna be too blendy? You never really know until you start knitting. So if you find yourself a little worried about your color choices, just exaggerate the contrast. And when you have something light, put something really dark with it. And then you know you're gonna see all those crisp stitch details like this effect. This is called the Red Velvet colorway from Punk Rock Unicorn. It's really saturated and has this beautiful pinky red wash to the color. And this is called Early Autumn Inspiration. Greens and reds, beautiful pinky light colors. I think that would be a winning combination. And let's do one more crazy combo and then one more neutral. Okay, this is one of my favorite colorways from Shopovola. It's like a rainbow fish. It's called Frischa Fischa, and it has all these really saturated jewel tones and vibrant warm colors. You could put a dark gem tone with it. This is called Fir Tree. It's this beautiful deep green, or you could do a blue with it, or even a really bright, like almost neon orange would be fabulous with that. And then a neutral, let's end with a neutral combo. This one's called Schlammpackung. Schlammpackung. It's a gray Zauberball, and it has all these beautiful cold tones. You could put that with a deep blue, or maybe even with a light. That would be quite subtle. This one's called Starry Night, and this blue is called Pacific. I think I like that blue, because this is quite light overall, and that would be a nice subtle combo. Super deep and shadowy with those little highlights popping out for your contrast color. So many fun options to choose from. Here's another version with a really color pop main color. And then you can see that Zauberball. Sometimes it gets a little more blended when the colors get a little matchy-matchy to the main color, but that's okay as long as most of the other colors have a nice contrast. Some golds and blues and navies and grays. I just love that experience of knitting with Shopovola because every row is a surprise. What color's gonna come next? What's the relationship gonna be like? So have fun picking your combos for the Stony stream socks. You can find a lot of these yarns at stephenandpenelope.com. The Punk Rock Unicorn Soul, Mominoki, the Shopovola. I'll link to some yarns down below to help you out and find your color combos. And you can also dive into your stash and mix and match all those single balls and single skeins of yarn. So let me know what kind of color combos you're thinking of for this Stony stream socks, and you can share all those projects on Ravelry or Westknits.com, where you can get the pattern and use the hashtag Stony stream socks for your posts on Instagram. So I hope you'll have fun with this new pattern. If you knit the matching shawl, the Stony stream shawl, then you can have a whole shawl sock matchy set. And I can't wait to keep on coming out with socks for the Westknits Year of Socks. So you can get this pattern. It's an individual pattern, but if you want the whole ebook, if you haven't gotten it yet, you'll get a January sock, a February sock. These are the March socks, and you're gonna get an awesome new stitch pattern, new sock design every month of the year. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next sock video.